What's going on, YouTube? Got another knife review here for you. Today we're going to be looking at the custom Curtiss Nano. Curtiss Knives Nano. So this is a knife that I've known about for quite some time. Boker Plus has their own collaboration with Dave Curtiss with his knives. And I thought, oh, it's like a nice little cute knife. Almost like a... I've seen friction folders that were like this, maybe like Jeff's Tough Toad or whatever. And it's like, oh, okay, really cute and whatnot. I don't see how it would be very, very practical. I used to have a Three Sisters Forge CCT, the credit card tactical knife. And I thought it was really cool. It was more kind of squarish and fit really well in that jean watch pocket. So very, very cool knife, but had just a tiny, tiny edge. I think it was a 1-inch cutting edge, and then it had a little choil in the front too. So you're able to get your at least 3 fingers on there, and work decently and whatnot. But I think for me, like, I've never been a small, like super small knife guy. The Nano is a 2-inch blade with a 1.75-inch cutting length, supposedly, but you can see here, like, I think it's just a 1.75 blade. I don't even think it would be 2 inches. Overall length, I'm not even sure what the overall length is. 4.75 inches, so less than a 5-inch blade. And so, again, this is not my knife. This is my friend's knife. And he's like, well, this is a great one to fit in your, that jean watch pocket as a secondary knife. But, for me, I'm like, well, if I already have a knife, even the Sebenza size, why would I need, a secondary knife like this? Typically for a secondary, I've been carrying just this, my Rexford Rut, and it's just a great knife or a great little blade to have in an emergency, with this razor here. Super sharp, obviously, since it is a razor blade, and easy enough to strop if you need to kind of keep it sharp and whatnot. But again, they're disposable blades. But yeah, I mean, anyway. I don't know. As I think about it, it's whether or not it's practical to have a secondary blade of this size. I can see if you have to have a small blade, say in Illinois or Chicago, where the blade length is a strong criteria. I think they have like a sub 2.5-inch or sub 3-inch blade or something like that. But at that length, I don't think it's sub 2. I think it's like either 2.5 or a 3-inch blade. With all these different options that are out there, especially the Spyderco Techno, when you're talking about price, I think the Nano is like $250 or $350. Let me check really quick. Arizona Custom Knives has them, or we're selling some for $225, and that was a liner lock version. Yeah. So, $225. The Techno with this has N690 steel. The Techno with CTS XHP steel is, I can get 4 fingers on this knife with a 2.25-inch blade, if I'm not mistaken. This is a great option for a really, really small carry knife with just as wide of a blade if you're going for a wide blade. And ergonomically, it's just, I think it's more comfortable than the Nano. The Nano is kind of just this banana shaped curve, and I can really only get 3 fingers on here. So my pinky kind of hangs on the side. Even when I was trying to cut paper, the way that I hold it, I mean, no matter how you hold it, unless you're you can't really hold it on the side because it's not comfortable. So the best way is putting your thumb here. So you could do some really, really fine cutting, but if you're doing any like slicing and stuff like that, maybe just with a 2-finger pinch, you could do some slicing. So that might work okay. But again, for me, I feel like the Techno is just feels a lot better in hand. Yeah, obviously with a fell holder like this, you get a lot more ergonomics, on this blade, but it's substantially more expensive than a Curtiss Nano or the Techno. But even like a Hinder XM18 3-inch, you get even more blade than the other options here. Extremely ergonomic. You get the choil, pretty decent stock of whatever blade steel that you end up with. This one's 20 CV. This one I've really put through its paces, cutting through boxes and whatnot. Just a great overall option. And then you have, say just even the simple small Sebenza 21, or recently Chris Reeve at Blade released their new knife. I was kind of just thinking it looked like a 25 version of small Sebenza, or like the Umfan from a long time ago. So this is not really a knife review. I'm just doing a knife comparison here. Like for me, it's a cool knife. It's a novelty knife, though, in my opinion. I think there's just so many better options out there, and this is not to knock Dave Curtiss. I think Dave Curtiss is great, and I think his work is great. My F4, I really like this F4. I'm sorry, F3. There's so many out there now. I just did a review of the Richard Rogers F4, and then there's the JW Smith F5. But anyway, the F3 here I think is a great knife from Dave Curtiss. But for the Nano, when there's all these other small knife options that are more practical with more blade length, I just think it makes more sense. But again, you pick your own poison. You can to each his own, as they always say. For people with extremely small hands, and if they just need like something really tiny to cut. Again, I think these are legal, in all 50 states. This would be legal, in all 50 states if you just really need something small to cut. And you have a bottle opener that I've used plenty of times, and a screwdriver that I've used plenty of times, and a pry bar that I've actually used plenty of times. This is a great secondary carry with a relatively small profile. Maybe it's with the sheath, it's not quite as small, but I think I love carrying this. I just drop this in my pocket, and then I'll have my knife in the same pocket. So that's why I don't carry, small knives like this. I'll typically always carry something this size. This has been my go-to everyday carry for a long time now, the Strider Tonto. I absolutely love this knife, and I've just killed this knife in so many different uses. So anyway, Curtiss Nano, very lightweight knife, cool option if you really want a small knife. Curtiss even makes the small F3, the compact flipper, which is a pretty cool knife as well. But I would even go that route over the Nano. So anyway, that's my take on the Nano. It sounds like I'm slamming the knife, and I'm trying not to. I'm just saying, there's so many other things that make more sense to carry than having this in your EDC. So some of you guys may disagree, and that's totally fine. And so let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, as always, and I'll see you on the next vid. Take care. Bye.